Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Swag Her, the edition of What's Going On. And today we are finding out what's going on with Miss Lashawn Davis on today. She is the workplace fixer, guys, and we're excited. We are looking forward to hearing this. My name is HB, and I am your host of the Gossip Podcast, the business strategist, as well as the life restoration coach. I'm excited about this interview on today to find out. So as you come in, go ahead and share. Go ahead and share on your pages. I'm going to share it here now as well on my Facebook page so that we can have viewers come in. We're about to get into this discussion. And if you have a business, if you know a business owner, go ahead and tag them inside of the comments. Go ahead and tag them. Let me see if I could go ahead and tag for a second, and then I'm going to bring her on so she could actually introduce herself to us. But I want to let me go ahead and tag the post that I shared. Let me go ahead and tag. I don't want that to be in the background. Okay, so I'm gonna bring her on so she can introduce herself. Hello,
Hey,
hello.
hey, HB, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
That's so good. I'm excited about this conversation. I'm excited about this interview to find out what's going on with the workplace fixer. I'm excited to have this conversation with you. And if you can go ahead and just introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. I'm Lashawn Davis. I am the HR plug that has kind of transitioned into becoming the workplace fixer because I help you understand what it takes to advocate for a workplace that works for you. And I'm here, because my calling is to make sure that you're finding your purpose in whatever you do career wise. And a lot of times we feel trapped with corporate or jobs or paychecks. And it's not even about that. So I'm excited to be able to have this conversation with you today and just help the people out.
Right, right. And I'm excited. And I love that you said, your calling, because that's what's about. What's your purpose, right? In
Yes.
life. And a lot of people feel restricted sometime in the workplace because they are entrepreneur, but they have that
Mhm.
fear to step out there. So you help people get into that. You help fix them in their workplace situation. And I love
Yes.
that. I
Yes.
love that. So as the workplace fixer, you said that you help people get into their place. And can you go a little bit deeper into that?
Yeah. So, a lot of times, especially as, people of color, we are
Mhm.
behind the eight ball. And somebody has to be out here teaching us the skills, the knowledge, and giving us the access to help us be equitable with other people who've had the blueprint all along, right? So, for example, me as a first generational college graduate, going into my first job, I was just excited to accept an offer, didn't know anything about negotiating, didn't even know how to ask for certain things that would make it more compelling for me to be a contributor at that organization. So I try to take everything that I've learned from my corporate American experience and help apply it to the people who are struggling or suffering in silence because they're miserable or they're unfulfilled and don't know what to do. And a lot of it we own. We own our trajectory of professionalism, where we end up, whether it's entrepreneur or whether it's a contributor to someone else's organization. We own it, and there's no need to sit in misery. And so I try to help talk about the things that companies don't want you to know, or talk about the things that people charge to tell you, because I believe
Right.
knowledge is free, and I believe it's our responsibility to share it with everybody. So I'm here to answer any questions, and always opening up my platform to help people be better and grow. So
Right. That's very, very, very important because sometimes, even in the workplace, people feel like, I'm working for someone and they're miserable just because of that whole, expression. But I like how you said if they own it, we own it. If you own your position, you own yourself, knowing that you stand alone, even in the workplace of someone else, like you still own that position.
you
I
own
feel
it.
like we'll have less miserable
People
people.
at work, right?
People at
It
work,
definitely
yes,
will.
less miserable people at work. So, tell us about the HR business. I saw that you have the HR business conference, the
Yeah.
Unplug HR business conference. Please tell us about that.
Yeah, so Unplug started right after COVID, right? The workplace was a mess. People were getting sick, couldn't come, social distancing. So I established kind of like a gathering for HR professionals just to unplug and disconnect from all of that, come together so that we can be better servants for our employees and for our leaders. And in that time, I just didn't realize how much people did not like their HR departments and
Mm.
how many people don't trust HR. And so it's kind of segued into how do we make HR more capable and less culpable to workplace chaos and drama and things like that. So I'm trying to empower business leaders and HR professionals to understand what their obligation is in their role at the business and what it means to take care of employees for real. So this conference, I'm excited about it. It's the third year we're doing it. It's growing, and it's hard. It's hard because it's something that people don't want to invest in unless they understand the value of investing in themselves. And
Mm.
so if you don't want to invest in yourself and you don't have the confidence or courage to ask your company to sponsor you to attend this event, then that's what makes it hard. Because I'm a visionary and I can see the benefit and I can see the gift and I can see the talents that so many of us have, but a lot of us don't move on. So this conference is like an igniter to help propel you into position to be a capable asset to the organization and serve the employees and the leaders and the people that we're supposed to in our roles. And that's what the conference is really about.
Listen, I love that. It's an igniter
It's an
because,
ignite.
like you said, people don't move. Listen, I was talking to one of my clients today, and I was like, it is time to make a choice. I cannot stay in this place with you. I'm sorry. I've been here with you long enough having this same conversation. So I love that you said it is an igniter. It ignites people to do what they desire to do
Mhm.
already, but
All
they're
right.
having a struggle. They're having an issue with moving forward and what they desire to do. So I love that. I love the fact that, not only do you have the business aspect, but you also host a conference. So I'm
Yeah.
feeling that there's a spiritual element here.
Come on.
Um, and so I love that. So you're also giving people, like, it's not just about caring about the money, like you just
Mhm.
said, but it's
Mhm.
also caring about the fact that they live out their purpose.
Right.
They live out their purpose. So you said this is the third year of the conference.
Yes, this is a third year and it's involved. And I want to touch on what you said about the spiritual component because a lot of people feel like spiritual doesn't belong in the workplace, right? You can't mix, the two. And this isn't a full spiritual marketed event. But when you walk into the building, I dare you to just walk in because you'll feel the presence of the spirit. And a lot of the reasons why I do what I do is because a lot of people read the word and they feel like, you know, God or, is the reason why things aren't happening for them. Or the Bible says, I'm going to be prosperous or abundant. Why am I struggling? Why am I living paycheck to paycheck and things like that? And so the conference brings all that together to help you understand, like, you have to be aligned with God's plan for your life in order to achieve abundance and prosperity. And a lot of us are operating on our own agenda, on our own plan in a selfish mode, and we were not created for ourselves. So this reminds us of that. Like, we're not here for us. We're here to meet the people who are assigned to us. The conference
Come
helps you
on.
understand who you're assigned to so that you can fulfill your purpose. That's the only way you'll find fulfillment. You'll achieve prosperity and abundance and the promises that God has for us. But we have it backwards, right? We want to
Right.
do the business first, or we want to make the money first. Money finds you. Abundance finds you. It attracts to you when you're operating with the way you're supposed to be operating. And a lot of us miss that. So I just try to help people operate where they're supposed to be operating so that they can understand how good God is and how he does deliver on his promises if we just align to his will and his word.
If we align,
Yes.
oh Jesus, help us.
If we align.
Listen, I love that. Greetings to all, blessings to all of those who are coming in. God bless you, Prophetess Sylvia. Prophetess Naomi, I believe I saw you as well. God bless you. For all those who are coming in, please share this live. We're talking to, I just want to give for those who just coming in, we are talking to Miss Lashawn Davis, and she is the workplace fixer. She hosts a conference, and this is the third year of the conference. And this conference is called the HR conference, this HR business conference, unplug, right? Unplug. I said that right,
Yep.
right. So yeah, so go ahead and share, everyone, because everyone needs to know this. Because first of all, ministry is, marketplace is a ministry of its own.
It's a
So when you
ministry.
say that, when people feel as though they can't bring that spiritual element, no, first of all, if you are a believer, it should be
Mm-hmm.
operating in your whole life, because your whole life
That's
is a
it.
worship, right?
That's
So
it.
so I love that you said that, and you're not afraid, because just like I've said before, doing an interview, sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to, don't have to speak it on the platform or speak
Right.
it like you said, but when you walk in the room, you
Feel
automatically
it.
know
That's
that
it.
what this is about, right? Like he's represented it everywhere we go, right? So we
Everywhere we go.
already know what this is about. And so I love that aspect. So what are some challenges that you help your clients overcome? If you could name just maybe the top 2, 3
Yeah.
challenges, or even the top one, because some of these things are a little deep. I've
Yes.
already got one in my mind as you were speaking. So
Mhm.
what are some challenges that you help your clients overcome?
Well, my challenge lately has been, I just recently published a book, and it's called At the Pinnacle of Greatness. And the challenge is helping people understand that you were created as greatness, that
Wow.
God designed you and his DNA is in you because he breathed life into you. So if you're walking around with the DNA of the Most High, you have to operate with a mindset that I am greatness. There's nothing that can be denied from me. Denied is not a no, it's a redirection to maybe God wants me to be somewhere else. So I help people shift the mindset to maintain a righteous mindset, to understand who you are, who God created you to be, so that you can fulfill your purpose of being here. Too many of us die with incomplete assignments. Too
Right.
many of us leave with incomplete assignments.
Help us, Lord.
And that's not what we're supposed, that's not what it's about. And so really it's a mindset thing. If you think about Blue Ivy for a minute, right? So if you think about Blue Ivy, Jay-Z and Beyonce's daughter, she walks into a store knowing that whatever I want, I'm gonna get because I know who my parents are, because
Mm-hmm.
I know they can afford it. We got to walk around with that mindset. I know who my father is. So if this is a
Mm-hmm.
job for me, I don't have to beg for it. I don't have to hustle for it. It's going to come naturally to me, and I'll be able to excel in it naturally because it's God ordained. If we operate with that mindset of greatness is who we are, is because we come from the greatest, then this world cannot hold us back in anything. But we don't walk around like that. We walk around thinking that this job holds me hostage. I'm enslaved to a paycheck. I got to go to work. I got to endure this because I got to pay my bills. But if we remember who the source is versus the resource, then our minds can stay fixed on the fact that we are greatness and we come from the greatest and nothing is too hard or impossible for him. So that's my main focus right now, is getting people to understand who you are.
So
Who are you?
can we call it what it is? Can I just
Yeah.
call it what it is?
Call it
Like,
what it
okay,
is.
because okay, so it sounds like to me that this is a matter of faith, unbelief,
Mm-hmm.
not having the belief. And
Mm-hmm.
then not only that, in the world they call it imposter syndrome.
Right.
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 So that's what you're facing. We're facing that the same thing in business, okay?
Yes. You think
So
you're
yes,
not
this is
worthy.
so true. People do not believe
Mm-hmm.
in themselves, or even that they're able, especially even believers. Like we feel like I don't know what this stigma is,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like I can't have, like you said, our father is the greatest. But why is there this stigma like I don't deserve, or I'm
Mm-hmm.
not worthy of
Mhm,
that, so I love that you touched on that, because this is very, very, very true. And
mhm,
how often do you feel like, okay, if you have 5 clients in a day, how
mhm.
often do you come across this? Out of 5, let's just say 5 clients, how often do you come across this?
Every single one. Every single one
Jesus.
of them does not find the worthiness in them. The difference between why a white man can walk into a job and demand a salary that we ask for, why are we asking and their demand? Like, it's just what we've been accustomed to. I'm here to reverse the narrative. You
Right.
walk into the job and assert your value. People wonder, LaShawn, you have pink hair, you have a nose ring, you have tattoos, but yet you're in corporate and they don't fire you. You're not violating any. No, because I know who I am. And I've
Right.
created and positioned myself as an indispensable asset, meaning you can't get what you get without me. You can't get what you want without me. I know that. You got to believe that about yourself too. You got to believe that whatever you contribute to that workplace, if you left, they would crumble. And if you
Come
don't
on.
believe that about yourself, that means you're not in the right workplace. That means you're not doing what you were designed or created to do. Because once you discover it, no one else can duplicate it. And then they're going to need you to fulfill it. I've created an indispensable asset for myself in my industry, in my niche. That's why I can rock pink hair and a nose ring. And people look beyond those superficial attributes and began to value and respect what I offer, because I stand in who I am and I know who I am and I walk in it confidently. We just got to get in line to walk in it confidently. And that's what we're going to spend the first day about the conference about. That's why I've invited Caroline Wanga, who is the CEO of Essence Ventures and the co-founder of Wanga Woman. And if you don't know who she is, look her up. But she is a CEO who looks like amazing, just bold character, clothing, hair, out there. But she's created a narrative based on who she is, and she walks in it confidently, so you don't question what she looks like. We all got to get to that place. And
Right.
that's what I'm here to help you do.
Listen, I love it. Indispensable asset.
Asset. Yes.
Listen, so how do you feel? Like, okay, yes, I understand being confident, but how do you feel you have created that about yourself, like that disclosure, where you have created this, any room that you walk in, any atmosphere, how do you create this so it could be a constant in your life?
Yes. So, really and truly, it's about a couple of things. Number one, you have to give people in your life an assignment. A lot of times we are around the wrong people and
Whew.
they are feeding our minds and fueling our minds with the wrong information. But you have to acknowledge that everybody in your life might be there for a reason, but give them an assignment. And don't give strangers and enemies more time than you're giving yourself and God. If you're spending too much time worrying about strangers, defending your position, or arguing with people, or trying to convince them about something of you, you're spending too much time there. A stranger is somebody who you don't know and can't call personally. That's that troll on social media that's leaving comments. That's the people that you're hearing things about. Don't give them any time or energy. And then
Right.
the enemies aren't really actual people who might be who are your enemy, because your friends can be your enemy. When I say enemy, I mean an enemy of your time, enemy of your purpose. They try to talk you out of doing the things that you decided you want to do. Girl, you're never going to get there. Don't even do that. Don't even worry about that. Why don't you go do this instead? That's an enemy. That's an enemy who is coming to distract you from where you're supposed to be. So we have to be mindful of who's in our circle, who we're giving time to, and give them an assignment. I would also say get a
Listen,
mentor
a mentor.
and
Can
know the
can I
difference
can I
between a
can I
mentor.
just touch on that? Give them assignment,
Yes.
because I have a friend that's on here right now watching this. And when
Uh-huh.
she first met me, and I used to tell her, like, people are in my life for a reason. Everyone is in my life for a reason, and she was offended by it at that time. But I'm so glad that you just said that, because now you see, some people are there for a season. Some people are there. You have to give everyone. When I let my guard down in that area, I saw my life change, and it wasn't
Yes.
for the better. So go ahead. Now you said, and everyone needs a mentor. Go ahead on that.
Yes, everyone. So give people in your life an assignment and a timeline if necessary, like you just said. Next, get a mentor and understand the difference between a mentor, a coach, and a sponsor. They're not one and the same. Okay. A mentor is somebody who's done what you're trying to do and they can help you do it. Whereas a coach helps you fuel what you want to do and hold you accountable to meeting your goals to get there. And a sponsor has the connections or the finances or the exposure to help you reach the people that are assigned to you to reach. Understand the difference between those three and make sure that you have one of each.
Right. Right.
Can't do
Listen,
it
I
alone.
love
We were
it.
not created. See, and I'm not going to go too deep, but see, God operates in agreement. The enemy operates in isolation and independence. So if you feel like I don't need anybody, I can do this by myself, that's the enemy. Because God operates where agreement, he's going to put people in your path, in your life, who you're supposed to connect with in order to have an expanded and large reach. We can't pray for God to expand our territory and then we can't handle it, right? Because he's not going to give you more than you can handle or you can bear. So if your prayers don't align to your output, it won't happen. So you got to be open to inviting and welcoming the right people. Stop competing and start collaborating so that you can have a greater and more broad reach for the people and the business that you need. But we think, I don't need anybody, I can do it myself, I'm equipped. That mindset is going to keep you struggling. It's going to keep you broke. It's going to
Keep
keep
you
you in debt. It's
struggling.
going to keep you the borrower, not the lender. It's going to keep you from all the promises, because he is in agreement. Where two or three gather, he is there. So if you by yourself,
Come on. Come on, tell the truth.
So
So
that's how
I
we
want to,
gather.
right. I so agree with that. Covenant is definitely the way of
Yes.
God. You know, He's the
Mhm.
covenant keeping God, and we have to have covenant even in our relationships, even in our businesses, especially like you said. A lot of us we do pray for things that we don't align with in our
Mhm.
life. We don't align with what we're praying for. But I love that. So I want to ask as well, in the workplace, like how what type of what type of people, what's the range, or what type of people do you serve
Mhm.
in your market? Like who
Yeah.
is your target market?
Who's my card? Yeah. Oh, that's a good question, right? Because when I put the HR plug, people know what the plug is, and the people who don't know what the plug is, I may not be for them, but they ask the question. But primarily, so our business, it's kind of branched out into two different businesses. So the HR plug primarily focuses on workplace culture. So we work with people who work in a job for somebody else. And we help these companies, these leaders understand what it means to create workplace environments where people can thrive and they feel like they can be their authentic, great selves. But we also have something called the Greatness Lab. The Greatness Lab kind of caters towards individuals who just want more for their life, more for themselves career wise, or just want to get positioned where in purpose where God, wants them to be. And so the Greatness Lab, we have, our mentorship program, we have our classes and things that we do to help you understand how to get the most out of life to live as the best version of yourself. Not the version your mom wanted, not the version your grandma prayed for, not the version your husband wants you to be, but the version that you were created to be. And so that's the Greatness Lab. So we serve two audiences: the individual who wants more and better, and the company who wants to get it right for their teams.
Oh, I love that. I love that. The Greatness Lab. I
Yeah.
gotta go follow you, right? So
Yes.
tell our tell our listeners, our viewers, again, y'all, go ahead and share this. Even if you're coming in just now, go ahead and share because someone needs to hear this. People are afraid of being successful, and I love that you do it not only for the individual, but as well as for companies.
Mhm.
And just it just being able to thrive in the workplace or in marketplace as a business owner, as the CEO of your own. I love this. So tell our greeters, tell me as well, how we can follow you and
Yeah.
where can we find you, like if there's a website or anything of that nature, let us know.
Yep. So I'm on most social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook as the HR Plug, and it's just at the HR Plug, all one word. If you're interested in the Greatness Lab, you can go to thegreatnesslab.com and you'll find more about those services and all of that. And yeah, and if you and then my book, the At the Pinnacle of Greatness, it's on Amazon. Or you can order it. DM me if you want to order it, and I can send you an autographed copy, of that book. But yeah, we have a lot of resources and tools out there. And if you're in Atlanta or not far from Atlanta, make sure you come and meet me on April the 3rd through the 5th at this conference. I would love to meet you. I'm very, personable, and I'm very spirit driven. So if it's from God you want to hear, then this is the place you need to be.
Come on. And how do they get tickets, or is it already,
Yeah.
how
So
do
the
we get
tickets for the
tickets?
conference, you can go to unplugconference.com. That is the website for the conference. And we have a lot of different variety of ticket options to make it affordable for you. We have a virtual option, we have a student option, we have a general admission, and we have a VIP option. So something, for you is there. If you want to get there and you can't, and you want to volunteer and you're local, my goal is to get you in the building, whatever that looks like. So just reach out to me, send me a DM, send me an email. You can email me at hello@thehrplug.com, and reach out. If you're hungry, I'm here to feed you, but I don't fix plates.
Come
So
on.
I will cook it and it will be ready for you to grab, but you're going to have to fix your own plate. So you got to be ready for this, and you got to be ready to get what God has for you and get the most and the best out of who you are. You got to drive that, but the food is here and I'm ready to serve.
Listen, if you're hungry, listen, you ain't done that, right? Because I gotta steal it. I'm telling you, we're gonna share this thing. If
Okay.
you're hungry, and can you we need shirts.
Right?
If you're hungry, I'm here to feed you, but I don't
I'm not
fix plates.
fixing. No.
People don't understand that. Like, you literally, this is something that I could talk to you all day long about what you need, but I tell people often I don't babysit feelings. Like, I'm just sorry, I don't. But that's
I'll
the
use
same.
that one.
That's the same thing you're saying,
Yes.
just in a different way. If you're hungry,
Mhm.
I'm here to feed you. However, I don't fix plates.
I don't fix
Like, literally, I'm not gonna babysit you. I'm gonna help
no.
you get to where you need to go. But ultimately, you're gonna have to be the one to go and do this
That's
thing. You
that's
are
it.
gonna have to be the one to accomplish this thing. So I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I love
That
it.
was the
So,
hardest lesson in business for me, to be honest,
oh my
because
God.
I wanted so much for you. I wanted so bad for you, but you don't even
Mhm.
want it for yourself. So I'm exerting all this energy into you, and you missing meetings. You're not doing your homework. Like I can't. I don't fix plates no more. I don't do that.
Listen,
I don't. I can't.
did you hear me say I had to tell the woman, listen, I had to tell her, I'm like, I can no longer be at this place with you.
I
I've
can't.
had this conversation, like, literally, like, if you want to pay me, repay me to keep having this conversation, we can do this. But as far as in what you have gotten so far and
Yeah.
what we have explored, the same thing. Now it's time for you to make a decision. Either you want this to do this, either you are a business owner or you're not. Like, one or the other,
One or
you
the
make a
other.
decision. So I love that. Listen, I really, really love that. I'm gonna be sharing this same with you, just so you know.
Yes.
When you come out with a t-shirt, go ahead and let me know. Okay. I
Look.
just followed you on Instagram as
Yes.
the Kingdom Advancer.
Okay, and I'll
I
definitely
do
follow you
so
back.
yes,
Yes.
and then I'll later I'll follow you with my business page that I'm just now getting started on Instagram. But I am so excited. I'm grateful that I was able to have this experience with you. And I want to just tell everyone, if there's something we missed, something we just didn't discuss, let them know what is going on with you. Like, something that you want to say. I know you have your conference going on, but
Yeah.
still let
Mm-mm.
them know, like, if there is something you can leave with the audience,
Mhm.
let them know what it is.
Well, first, I just want the person looking, watching, listening to know it's not by accident that you encountered this live, that you encountered this recording, that you are here, because there was something that you needed to hear. And so I would say act on it. Because as you sit here, I already know God is speaking to you. So see this as that confirmation to act on it, whatever it is, because no one can stop you, because you are greatness. You come from the greatest. And so, because of that, there's nothing too impossible for him. That makes it nothing too impossible for you. And if you're somebody watching it and you're like, Lashawn, that sounds good, but I'm over here struggling, you don't know my life, I'm going to tell you, I've struggled too. I still struggle. But that's why the Bible says this life is not our own and we must die daily to our flesh, because you have to know that there's a greater cause, an assignment, and a purpose to why you're doing what you're doing. And if you're struggling right now, maybe somebody's watching this who is sick. Maybe somebody's watching this who is jobless. Maybe somebody is watching this who has church hurt. Maybe somebody is watching this who feels like that's unreachable for me. I'm going to tell you this. The reason you're struggling or going through what you're going through, and I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody. The reason you're
Right.
struggling or going through why you're going through what you're going through is because God trusts you enough to go through it. And he knows that when you come out of it, you're going to use this to give him the glory, after it. And that's what it's all about. So endure it, because that's how you find favor with God. So hold on to who you are, stay close to his word and him, talk to him, and don't just pray, but also sit and listen and wait to hear him back. A lot of times we converse with God and we think praying is enough, but sometimes you need to be still and listen too, because he's going to give you instructions. He's going to give you a revelation in the word. He's going to give you something that's going to get you unstuck and get you in a position to be able to move. So if you're hearing this message, that means God wanted you to hear this message. And I encourage you and I empower you to take back ownership over everything the enemy tries to tell you you can't have, tries to tell you you're unworthy of, tries to tell you you'll never be or never become. All of that is lies. We have to feed our mind with the word of truth. And therefore, like they say, the truth will set you free. So I just want to encourage anybody listening to know God still loves you. We love you. You have a community here with Swag Her. You have a community and a coach with HB. Take advantage of your resources and fix your plates.
Come on, fix your plate.
Fix your
I
plate.
am so. Let me tell you something, because the strong people, listen, we need the encouragement as well. And I'm inspired. I'm really, truly, truly inspired. I was just in the
Oh.
shower and I was
Mhm.
just thinking about this whole conversation, and I was saying to myself concerning my own business, like, this is why, like I just said, I just started my Instagram business wise, and I'm saying to myself, like, girl, you literally need to work on that Instagram. You need to get, driving, because you can't forget about the business aspect. If people don't know what you do, and
Right.
you're telling other people, here I am telling other people, but that's the thing. Like, I can't lose myself and even helping other people. And sometimes that's what we do. I have to fix my own plate. So
Right.
I appreciate you telling me fix my own plate,
Fix
getting me
your
back in
own.
alignment with what it is that I need to do, even myself. Because everybody, like you said, everybody needs that mentor, everybody needs that coach, everybody needs those partners, those people in your life that will drive you to that place. So
Yes.
I am encouraged, and I know
Yes.
you all are encouraged. If anybody in the audience have any questions,
Yeah.
please let's go ahead and ask Miss LaShawn about any questions what you have to find out about what she's doing. She is the HR, the unplug HR business uh conference is
Conference.
happening. I'm going to ask you again for that
Mm-hmm.
website. I want to be able to put it in the comments.
Okay,
Let
let me
me put
see.
it in the comments now. Hold on one second.
I got you. I can put it in there.
Okay. Okay, so you could put the put it in the comments,
Mm-hmm.
as well as, okay, the unplugconference.com. Go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
follow her. She is the hold up.
All
Let me
the
get
little websites down here for people to
yes. And the HR at the HR unplug on social media.
mm-hmm.
Make sure you locate her on social media, guys. Follow her. Go ahead, get at the conference if you can fly in. And again, when you said the conference is taking place, put the date of the conference inside of the
Mm-hmm.
data inside of the comments as well.
Yes.
The conference is taking place in Atlanta, Georgia. So if you are anywhere near, or even if you got to fly in, listen, sometimes we got to go fix our
Mm-hmm.
plate, right? We got to fix
Because
our
look,
plate.
this is the thing. We want everybody to invest in us. We want the best salary. We want the companies to pay for us. We want people to buy our products. But if you don't invest in you, I'm not investing in you. And that's my mindset. If you come and want me to buy something from you, I'm gonna say, well, what have you done to invest in yourself, right? If your stuff doesn't look like you're paying anybody to help you, or it looks raggedy, or what have you, no one's going to invest in you. We have to understand the importance of investing in ourselves.
Come
That's the
on.
only way people are going to
Without,
relate.
and I've learned over and over again in business, because like through my life I've always been the entrepreneur. Okay, I've always been the person that, and I've learned even from in my hustle stages,
Yes.
where if you are not investing, you don't really appreciate or have find value in it. So
Mm-hmm.
really you just consume information, and then that's it. You like
Right.
consume the information, and you really don't do anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just a hoarder of information and you're
Mm-hmm.
not making any moves. So
Yes.
I love that you said that. If you don't value, you don't put anything in it. Anybody have any questions, go ahead and ask before we get off of here. But this has been very much informative. I believe that there has been some gems. I know there have been some gem drops. When I tell you I'm going back to watch this interview, because I want to go back and get the gems myself and
Yes.
just process. Sometimes y'all don't be afraid to go back to watch something that you heard something that tugged on your spirit, and you
Mm-hmm.
made you leap in some way. Go back and watch that thing to actually digest it. And as you digest it at that moment, think about, okay, how does this reflect in my life right now? Like, what do I need to do in order to align with what is making my baby leap? What is making me,
Yes.
how do I align? Because that's very, very, very much important. Oh yeah, she have a
Yes.
book here. Um, The Pinnacle of Greatness. I love it. I
Yes.
love it. So
It is. I'm so excited for what you're doing for our community, for the people, because enough people aren't telling the truth about what it really means to be successful. And let me say this, and I touch on this a little bit in my book, but I'm gonna leave y'all with two things about one about money and one
Mhm.
about success. Um, First of all, money doesn't have a respect of a person. The reason that sometimes we don't have money isn't because of anything of us, but it's because of our belief system. It's because of how we see money and how we don't have an assignment for money. And if you don't have an assignment for money, it's not going to come to you. So if I said, how much money do you need for your business, HB? You said, I need $1 million. You should be able to write on a piece of paper everywhere that every dollar of that $1 million, where is it going to go? And if you
Right.
can't do that, that money is not going to come to you. This is why, people who get money through illegal ways, they still get money because they have the confidence and belief in the way that they're doing it and how they're doing it, and they have an assignment for that money, and so it attracts to them. So I need us to look at money differently. I need us to see it as it's out there for us to get. We just gotta be precise and scriptive and write it down, write the vision down, make it
Write
plain
the vision, make
as
it
to
plain. You know that
where
thing
it's
was
gonna
getting me
go.
all stirring up, right? I
Yes,
wanted to say it
we
so
got to
bad.
write it down. We can't just want it. You can't ask and pray for a better car, but I go in your car, you got goldfish in the cup holders, you haven't washed it in 2 months. Like, you don't even take care of the small, but you expect the big. We got to align our lifestyles to our prayer life and to what outcomes we want, and start living like it's already done.
You said
Living like it's already done. And success isn't
you've
based on
been
how much money you
good.
have.
You've been good over the few, over the small. Now I'm
Small.
gonna make you ruler over much.
Yes, yes, yes. And that's how money is just a mindset. I know that I'm gonna have it. It's gonna come to me as long as I stay obedient and aligned. If we think about it that way, you don't work for the money, you work for being successful. And let me just debunk what success is. So success isn't about how much money you have. It's not about how big your house is. It's not about the kind of job you have. It's how many people can walk up to you and say thank you. That's success, because that means you're doing something in your life that's not for you, but it's for somebody else. And that should be your goal to be successful. That every day at least one person says thank you to me for something that I've done for them.
Mm.
If you operate life that way, as a servant to others, as a follower of Christ, and not about just yourself or your selfish ambitions, life will be changed for you dramatically. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee it. And those are the two things that I want us to wrap our minds around. Look at being successful based on how much impact you offer into the world and how many people can come back and say thank you.
Oh, I love it. At the pinnacle of greatness. You know I'm trying to
Mhm.
go see. Are you do you know if your book is on Audible?
It's not on Audible yet. I have to
Okay.
record it. It just got released this month. So y'all
Okay.
go ahead and grab a copy and let me know, how you like it. How you like the book, give me feedback. But it's a real book. It's like
Okay.
295 pages. And my friend was like, "I'm reading your book, but then I got to do some work with it, because I'm not one of those people that's just going to tell you my story or just give you a bunch of advice. I'm going to tell you the formula into how I did it, or how to get it done, or what, or ways that you can get things done, so that after you read this book, you have results."
Come on. After you read, you have results.
Yeah.
Listen. Round of applause. Round of applause. This has been very much enjoyable. I hope that you all have shared this live, and that, even like I said, you come back on here again, tag some people in the comments that you know that's a business owner or that needs to hear this information. Even if they're not a business owner, they're in the workplace, people that you know have been that may you've heard them complain about what's going on in the workplace and how they feel about being in the workplace. Go ahead and tag them in the comments and share this. This has been a great
Tag
pleasure
them.
with doing this interview with you. And we're gonna go off of live, and I'll meet you in the back room, okay?
All right. Thank you so
Thank you
much. It
all
was
for
great.
joining. Share, share, share. God bless you all.